Have you ever wanted to learn to play chess? Me neither, but you're watching my video and you have to do this, so let's get started. The most common piece in chess is the one in the front row right here. That's called the pawn. Now, on their first move, they can move 2 spaces forward, but on all other moves, they can only move 1 space. So the pawn is unique because it can only attack diagonally. For instance, white takes this one. The next piece we'll be going over is the knight, the one in the middle here that looks like a horse. Now, the way it moves, it can move 3 in any direction, but it has to move over 1. What's unique about the knight is that it can actually jump over pieces that are in its way. The next piece we'll go over is the bishop. Now, the bishop is this piece that kind of looks like a whistle or a wizard tower, depending on who you ask. Now, it can go in diagonals. For instance, like this, and like this. Pretend I didn't just drop that. The next piece we'll go over is the rook. What's unique about the rook is that it can go in any direction, or horizontally or vertically. And it takes any piece in its way. The next piece we'll go over is the queen. What's unique about the queen is that it combines the movement of both the rook and the bishop. It moves like the bishop in order to be able to move diagonally, and it moves like the rook in order to be able to move vertically and horizontally. The final piece we'll be going over is the king. What's unique about the king is that it cannot move into spaces where it would be able to be attacked. So in this case, while it can move in any direction normally, it cannot move left or right, but it can move forward or backward because those are available spaces to be taken. The next thing we're going to cover is one of the most common ways to force a king into checkmate. Now, what checkmate is having a king in check, which means having a piece that would be able to attack it, while also having it not be able to escape to another place. So one of the most common ways of doing this is called the Joachim maneuver, but because we're not pretentious, we're just going to call it forcing a check with rooks. So what you want to do with that is put your rook here so that the king can't move this way. Then taking your other rook, putting it here, which puts it into check, which forces it to move, which makes it move back. Then putting your other rook over to here, which makes it move back again. And then you have your this rook once again move over here, and then you have checkmate. Very simple. And with that, you now have a very basic overview of how to play chess. Now, this didn't go over everything. There's still other things to learn, such as castling or en passant attacking, but in general, you will probably know enough to have a decent game of chess. Now, the only other thing you'll have to do is find somebody else who actually wants to play chess with you, and that's the hardest part of all.